Alright, so we have officially returned to the boys universe as Gen V Season 2 is finally here, and we have waited so long for this new season because, especially as this is heavily connected not only to the world of the main show that we know, but especially with this connecting the pieces for what this needs to lead into for The Boys season 5, which is the final season. And there's a lot I want to gush about. And so I'm going to give you guys my full non-spoiler review on the first 3 episodes that were officially released, and talk about what was different, and so sort of like if it was the same tone, especially as if it is fit enough for the show's tone as well. And so, if you're new, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so I'm on any future bits. But now, let's talk about the new season. And now, when it comes to a show like this, and this is all set in the world of The Boys, because especially when we were first introduced to this show with Gen V, I was completely on board for what they wanted to explore within this established environment, and that is pretty much a connected universe. And I fell in love with the show, and especially with the tone and the graphic and all the nudity that stayed true to the tone of the show that we love. And even though it gets crazy, especially with all the sequences and introducing all of the superhero beings at this university that have powers, and even towards for how it's connected to the main show, it definitely explains a lot, especially with The Boys. And now going into season 2, and I just say I think it is pretty damn good. And even though it's not like as perfect as season 1 was, but it is still good. Especially this is picking up after the events of The Boys season 4, because especially if you know what happened at the end of season 4, and this is all set in a Homelander world, and like this is post season 4 with the students that have returned for their sophomore year at Godklin University, and just for how my experience, towards the characters and for what they have to learn. And I think for what this season has explored, and I think big reveals are made already, and even within like the first 3 episodes, I think it definitely picks up right after The Boys season 4 left off. But I just do think that like things can be a bit slow, and for what we have to learn within each character moment, and especially what element of storytelling that this new season wants to give us, because with Gen V, there's always something new to explore at the university that they are attending. And plus, like, I think we learned like new secrets, and especially for how this is all going to connect and lead into the final season of The Boys, which is season 5. And I think within the second season, they do touch upon the events of season 4 and what happened towards the end of that, and just for how our characters come back. And I think within the new season, and it does warrant Jan's Pernamero. And as you may know, that before the new season came out, he passed away. And so I think this was a good way of mourning his loss. I mean, this season, it was really about him, of what a way to honor his memory by that they bring up his character, and just despite everything, it is really touching. Although with Maria, they definitely explore her background more, especially what reveals are made. And even though I pretty much didn't know what was coming when they revealed something about her, but yeah, it is pretty revealing. And especially with the gang and that is with her, and for how are they going to survive, knowing that this is all in the world of Homelander now, and especially with the people around them. And I think for what's going to be leading towards the end of the season, it's going to set up the final season of The Boys in like a pretty big way. And from the storytelling and the pacing, and even though like there's a percentage of that is not quite as good as season 1 was for how we were introduced to all the characters and with the university and the school for what these beings really can do with their powers. But I think season 2 is off to a good start, especially after the third episode, and I think I am ready for what more this season has to offer, and for what reveals from the main show of the boys has to incorporate here, and in terms of making connections, what's going to happen towards the end. And I think we're about to see like some of the main characters from the boys show up in the new season, and because we pretty much never know. I mean, it is a new season, but it is heavily connected in the boys show and in this universe, and I think for what reveals are going to be made, especially towards the end, I think we're in for one heck of a showdown that's going to happen in the final season of the boys, and especially with Homelander that's out taking over the world, even just from development and moments between each character, and just for what they have to learn just in order to survive this. And I think it is filled with good moments, and I think it is sort of good, but I don't know if it is the same, but they do keep it at that tone and pace that we already love and known. But I think this is a good season, and I think I am sort of hooked after episode 3, and I think some parts are slow and sort of draggy, but hey, I'm on board for what this rest of the season has to offer. So yeah, I think there's some good sit-down moments at the beginning of the season, but I think I'll have to wait like a little bit longer just to get my full train of thought for what I think of the whole season of the show. But that's gonna do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments down below, and what are your thoughts on Gen V season 2 after the first 3 episodes, and are you looking forward to seeing more, especially for how this entire season is gonna connect heavily into the final season of The Boys? Just let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to turn on notifications about future videos. Also follow all my social medias, also linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.